expert panel voted on thousands of head-to-head player matchups, taking into consideration the quality and quantity of their NBA contributions. And here's what they got. Elgin Baylor checks in at 20, then the logo Jerry West, then two international players with Giannis at 18, and then Dirk, KD at 12, and Shaq at 11. And here's how the top 10 pans out. Kobe, Oscar Robertson, Tim Duncan, Larry Bird, Bill Russell, Wilt, Magic, Kareem. Then the top two, of course, that's LeBron and MJ. Monica back here with us. Stephen A., I'll start with you. Should Kobe have been higher than 10?
Possibly. Yeah. It's a tough list, and this is one of the rare moments that I really don't have a strong, definitive opinion about this list, because I don't have a problem with anybody in the top 10, but I could also make a case for 2 or 3 guys to move higher, or for at least 2 or 3 guys to be added from the list and another 2 to be omitted from the list. And let me throw this out there. Oscar Robertson, an all-time great, somebody that I admire and revere beyond comprehension. I know who he was. I know what he is. I've spoken to him on many occasions. I dearly love the man and what he did for the game of basketball, particularly with some of the battles he was willing to fight as a member of the Players Association. But he only has 1 title. Kobe has 5. I can't ignore that. And he had 2 without Shaq, which is why he wanted to do without Shaq, to prove his greatness. Number 2, Wilt Chamberlain, they changed the rules for Wilt Chamberlain. He once scored 100 points in a game. He once averaged 50 points in a season, and another 44 in another. But playing in the same era as Bill Russell had 11 titles. Wilt Chamberlain had 2. I mean, damn. That's a discrepancy when you're going up against somebody. 2 titles compared to 11?
Yeah.
That resonates with me. I think about Shaquille O'Neal, Shaq, the Diesel, the most dominant force we've seen of the modern era. He has 4 chips. Shouldn't he be in the top 10? I think about Steph Curry, the greatest shooter God ever created. 5 trips to the NBA Finals, 3 titles. Doesn't that qualify as top 10? Especially when he has just as many chips or more than half the damn list. I got to think about that. I got to really go home and reflect on this list, because even though I had a vote, we voted the top 75, Eminem. We didn't vote in order. We voted who belonged on the top 75 list, not the order. So I never thought about the order outside of Jordan, LeBron, Kareem. I never thought about the order outside of the top 3. But now they got me having to think about it, because I'm thinking about Steph and Shaq, and I'm thinking about Wilt Chamberlain, Oscar Robertson. Hell, I'm even thinking about Larry Bird. That's how deep I go.
It's the one time where I want everybody to get a participation trophy and we not rank this thing at all, because it is absolutely mind-boggling. I will say that when the 10 came down, I was a little bit and again, this is not as if there are wide margins that this person may or may not be in the top 10. But I was a little bit surprised, if I'm completely candid and honest, to see Tim Duncan in the 10 instead of a Shaq. But like you said, Stephen A., you really could stay up all day and all night kind of picking this thing apart. But the only reason that one stood out just a bit, and granted, Tim has those 5 championships, big fundamental, we know how good he was. I do think that Shaq altered the game in terms of how you had to deal with him in a different way, right? And somebody might counter that and say, well, you're just talking about Shaq's power, but Duncan was arguably as effective when you bear out some of the numbers in terms of the positions that they had, the things that they had in similarity. But that was the only one that I was kind of like, ooh, really? Maybe, okay, I kind of see it.
Eminem, I gotta say this. Shaq wasn't just powerful, he was agile. That brother had moves in the post. He was lethal in the open court, too. He could finish. The brother, he wasn't just some big stiff who moved people out of the way and dunked on people. Shaq's footwork couldn't be denied. His agility couldn't be denied. I think Shaq definitely belongs in the top 10. You want me to tell you what else? When we talk about Bird, and love his clutch and all of this other stuff. Are we going to really sit here and act like Larry Bird was better than Kevin Durant? Let's just pause for a second. Again, he got the 2 rings from Golden State. I get it. I would remind everybody, Kevin Durant is 6'11" or 7 feet tall, depending on who you believe, who has sniper range ability. He is a career 27-point-per-game scorer. This brother literally could go down as the greatest scorer in the history of basketball once all is said and done, and we know that because of what we've already seen him do. He was averaging 27 a game before he ever arrived in Golden State. With Steph and Clay, 2 of the top 5 shooters in the history of basketball, it was clear who the best player on that team was. And LeBron never gave a concession speech until KD arrived in Golden State. He didn't do that before. Okay. He said we got him before when they won Game 5, Game 6, and then ultimately finished Game 7. He like, we got him. But before he played a game against KD with them, he was like, I just don't want to think about it. It's just stressful. I just don't want to do that to myself. KD is one of the lethal offensive players in NBA history. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.